Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Here are the top stories of the news. DSS arrests suspected mastermind of the December 29 bomb explosion in Okene area of Kogi State. APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu promises to improve the nation's security if elected next month. On the foreign scene, Pope Francis leads funeral service of predecessor Pope Benedict XVI. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael. The Department of State Services, DSS, has arrested the mastermind of a December 29, 2022 explosion near the palace of the Oyinoyi of Ebire land in the Okene area of Kogi State. The DSS spokesman, Peter Afunaya, made this known in a statement stating that the suspect, Abdulmumin Otaru, also known as Abu Mikdad, and one of his associates, Saidu Suleiman, were arrested on January 3, 2023. He identified Otaru as a high commander of the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, who had carried out many attacks in the north-central and other parts of Nigeria. The secret police revealed that Otaru operated terrorist cells and has staged several kidnap operations around Kogi and Ondo State. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has announced appointments and redeployment of new branch chiefs, air officers commanding, commandants of track service and institutions. In a statement, Group Captain Joel Abioye made the announcement on behalf of the Director of Public Relations and Information. Abioye said the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, also approved the spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force. Air Commodore Wakwerem Megida takes over from former spokesperson Air Commodore Edward Gapquet, who is now Commander 551 of the NAP station in Jos. He further disclosed that the senior officers are expected to assume their offices on or before Friday, January 6, 2023. The Cross River State Commissioner of Police, Sule Balarabe, has announced that police personnel in the state will undergo retraining in arms handling. He made this known in his office in Calabar, where he assured the public that the police will not take any chances, even as the general election holds next month. He added that the retraining is important to avoid what happened in Lagos State, where a policeman was reported to have mistakenly shot a female lawyer. To political matters, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has promised that the party would improve the country's safety and youth education if voted for in the forthcoming presidential election. Speaking during a campaign rally in Kano, he promised to serve and protect Nigerians if elected as president. Former Lagos State Governor also backed Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike for questioning the suitability of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, for the office of the president. According to Senator Tinubu, the PDP cannot be trusted to keep promises.
Today, I've come home to Kano. All I want to do is dance. I will serve you, serve Nigeria. I kept my promise. Always, always. God bless you. Thank you.
The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Tinubu has arrived in Benin City, the Edo State capital, for the party's campaign rally. The APC flag bearer was accompanied by Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State and his Jigawa counterpart Abubakar Badaru, alongside other APC national leaders. Tinubu and his entourage were received by the former governor of Edo and Deputy Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, PCC, Comrade Adams Oshemole, and other Edo APC chieftains. The APC Presidential Campaign Rally is scheduled to hold today at the Sam Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. In the meantime, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says speculations will not influence his decision on his preferred presidential candidate. In recent weeks, there have been speculations that Governor Wike and his allies will work for the election of presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu. But speaking at the flag-off ceremony for the construction of a link road in Emohua local government area of the state, Governor Wike said he will tell his people which presidential candidate they should vote for.
If anybody likes, say whatever you want to say. Say I am working for social person, it's your business. Say I'm not working for social person, it's your business. That will not deny or make me change my mind where we're heading to. Do you understand me? So if they like, they can make speculation. After all, that's why the word speculation is there. That's what that's speculation. People must speculate. So let them continue to speculate.
The presidential candidates of the new Nigerian People's Party, NNPP, Rabiu Musa Kwakwaso, has urged the people of Delta State to support and vote for the party in the forthcoming 2023 elections. Kwakwaso made the call during a remark shortly after he commissioned the campaign office of Honorable Onoche Anthony Oche in Delta State. He called on all NNPP candidates to work towards ensuring the victory of the party at the polls. Kwakwaso promised to build 500 classrooms in 3 years, take children off the streets, and create massive employment for the people. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it has received the last consignment of the bimodal voter accreditation systems, BVAS machines. The National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee of the Commission, Festus Okoye, made this known in a statement made available to newsmen yesterday. He said INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, National Commissioners, and senior officials of the Commission were at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, to receive the BVAS yesterday. To facilitate the smooth delivery of the machines, Okoye said the Commission created 4 airport hubs in Abuja, Kano, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. According to him, over the last 4 months, several flights delivered the BVAS to designated airports for movement to states of the Federation ahead of the elections. He added that the Commission appreciates the support of all Nigerians in its determination to conduct free, fair, credible, transparent, and inclusive 2023 general elections. In Bauchi, not less than 18 persons, including 3 children, have been burnt beyond recognition in an auto crash in Abodo village, Toro local government area of the state. The sector commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Yusuf Abdullahi, shared details of the incident in a road traffic report today. Mr. Abdullahi said yesterday's accident involved one Toyota Hiace bus and an articulated vehicle, revealing that the 3 people in the trailer weren't hurt. He attributed the cause of the crash to a speeding violation which led to a head-on collision between the 2 vehicles. Mr. Abdullahi said a mass burial was immediately carried out for the victims by the Nigeria Police Force. The sector commander advised motorists to always be conscious of traffic rules and regulations while applying the roads. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Kaduna State Command, says its operatives have arrested 4 suspects with 298 bags of Indian hemp. The NDLEA State Commander, Mr. Ibrahim Braji, made this known at a news conference in Kaduna yesterday, revealing that the suspects were arrested on the evening of January 3 at Tasu Mahuta community in Chikun local government area of the state. Mr. Braji said that the 4 suspects were 2 females and 2 males with the bags of Indian hemp weighing 3,576 kilograms. He added that operatives were still investigating the matter to unravel other suspects for arrest and prosecution. He further stated that the command had expanded its operational structure in the state to curtail the influx and outflow of drugs. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has said it secured a total of 3,785 convictions across all its commands in 2022. The figure, which emerged from a review of the anti-graft agency's performance in the outgone year, shows a 70.5% improvement over its record for the year 2021, which was exactly 2,220. The EFCC revealed this in a statement yesterday, stating that the figure also represents a 98.93% success rate in prosecution, given that the Commission lost only 41 cases within the period. The statement revealed that the conviction secured by the EFCC in 2022 is its highest since inception and sustains an upward trajectory that began shortly after the emergence of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break.
Turn it up! It's the Wild Wild West, and Western Spring Television is pulling out all the stops to make sure that you don't miss out on every of the fun and happenings around you. Yup, we've got you covered because your girl got all the juiciest tidbits and entertainment news from around the world. Cross over to the chocolatey side of entertainment. Join me, Chocolate Cassie, on Eccentric as we take you into every bit of the juiciest news, fashion, music, movie updates, and other trending conversations. Together on the show, we'll get personal with your favorite celebrities via phone call, Zoom, or even live here in the studio. Eccentric will be showing on your TV screen on Western Spring Television, channel 190, only on Star Times.
You're welcome back. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has said that the COVID-19 Omicron sublineage is partly responsible for the current increase in COVID-19 cases in China. The NCDC disclosed this yesterday in an update on COVID-19 genomic surveillance signed by its Director General, Ifedayo Adetifa. Adetifa, however, said a sublineage called B521 has been seen in Nigeria since July 2022. According to him, country-targeted travel restrictions included requests for PCR negative tests from incoming travelers had little or no effect on preventing global and national circulation of Omicron. He, however, said that people at high risk for severe COVID-19 are advised to continue to adhere to the recommended non-pharmaceutical interventions such as the use of face masks, good hand and respiratory hygiene, and avoidance of private spaces. Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, says 3 children have been reported dead in a fire incident which occurred in Nguru town in the state. The agency disclosed this in a post via its official Facebook page, noting that it has also received reports of fire incidents in Damaturu and Funne local government areas between 28th 30th December 2022 and 4th January 2023, respectively. According to SEMA, an assessment revealed loss of property, including household items, reserved food items, personal belongings, residential apartments, among others. As Harmattan season sets in, the agency further cautioned people in the state against the use of fire as well as other electrical appliances. The agency, however, said it is mobilizing resources for immediate support to cushion the hardships of victims in the affected communities. In business, the federal government has said that it will stop the payment of fuel subsidy by the end of June 2023. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, disclosed this during the public presentation of the 2023 federal government budget. Mrs. Zainab disclosed that in the 2023 fiscal period, the government has made provisions of 3.36 trillion naira for fuel subsidy payment to cover the first 6 months of this year. This, she stated, was in line with the 18-month extension announced in early 2022. Breaking down the budget, the minister noted that the nation's revenue performance as of November 2022 stood at 6.5 trillion naira, representing an 87% of the set target of 7.8 trillion naira for the year. Technology giant Amazon aims to cut more than 18,000 job roles as it reduces costs. In a message to staff, Amazon's chief executive, Andy Jassy, said the announcement was brought forward because one of the firm's teammates leaked the information externally. The job cuts amount to around 6% of the company's roughly 300,000-strong corporate workforce. Amazon is the latest big technology firm to unveil major layoffs as the cost of living crisis sees customers cut back on spending. On the foreign scene, tens of thousands of people have gathered for the funeral of former Pope Benedict XVI, which is being held in the Vatican. Mourners applauded as his coffin was moved into St. Peter's Square. Pope Francis began the funeral mass with the reading of the penitential act. The act is a general confession of sinfulness that normally takes place at the beginning of the celebration of Mass. Benedict died on Saturday, aged 95, after many years of illness. He became the first pope to resign in 600 years in 2013 when he steps down, citing old age. He has been lying in state for 3 days in St. Peter's Basilica, and his funeral will be similar to that of the reigning pope. Kenyan President William Ruto says the country will not default on its debt in the face of severe economic challenges. Mr. Ruto told journalists that Kenya had applied the brakes on any more borrowing. He made the remarks at State House, Nairobi, during his first major televised media conference with local journalists. The Kenyan president also disclosed that he fired former head of criminal investigations over cases of forced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. Mr. Ruto said he was keen on ensuring there were no extrajudicial killings by the police, adding that he had tasked the Police Oversight Authority to investigate the cases.
I already had a thorough meeting with the IPOA, and we have agreed with them that it is not necessary for me to establish another task force when IPOA is there, and it is squarely within their mandate to tell us how did Kenyans end up being killed in this manner. And then it was business as usual. 30 bodies in Yala, 17 bodies in Garissa. I don't know how many bodies were. You know, people, you know, there was a container here at the Nairobi area where people were being slaughtered in a police station. How did we end up there? You know, what kind of What kind of rogue, institution? And that is why I fired that Kinoti man, because, it's not right.
In sports, Zambian footballer Lamek Banda and his Lecce teammate Samuel Umtiti suffered racist abuse from visiting Lazio fans in Italy's Serie A yesterday. The referee stopped the game in the second half because of the racist taunts. France international Umtiti was the primary target of the abuse. Lecce, who won 2-1, praised their fans for responding to the abuse by chanting Umtiti's name. In a tweet, the club said the racist chants were submerged by those of encouragement. The governing body for women's tennis says it wants to meet Peng Shuai in person before it can resume tournaments in China. Last year, the former tennis star accused a top Chinese official of sexual assault in a social media post. Ms. Peng then briefly disappeared from the public eye, but she later denied making the allegations. The Women's Tennis Association also called for a formal investigation into her accusations. In a statement, the WTA said it would not compromise its founding principles to operate events in China. The WTA stand is expected to cost the women's star hundreds of millions of dollars in broadcasting and sponsorship. And before we end the news, here is a recap of our top stories. The Department of State Services, DSS, has arrested the mastermind of a December 29, 2022 explosion near the palace of the Ohinoi of Ibira land in the Okene area of Kogi State. The presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, has promised that the party would improve the country's safety and youth education if voted for in the forthcoming presidential election. On the foreign scene, approaching news that tens of thousands of people have gathered for the funeral of former Pope Benedict XVI, which is being held in the Vatican. You can follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Western Spring Television. You can also watch us live on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television. That ends Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. I am Damilola Raphael. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
bàbá kan ìyá kan ọmọ kúlúmbù lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ lébọ̀.